Hi, okay, so this is about my lesson. So again, I am going to be with the 8th grade math, that area, and we are going to read about the greedy triangle. It's just kind of dealing with polygons and shapes. It's a short fiction. Basically, I'm trying to encourage students' creative thinking. That's my course goal, and I want students to learn about how polygons differ based on their sides and their angles, essentially. So my lesson outcomes as a result of this lesson, again, I want students to understand how the sum of a shape, where that comes from, and how we apply that and what that really means. And I want them to also understand and realize that we can also figure out not just the sum, but just what one of those angles adds up to as well. So I have a couple of my reading strategies here. And then going on to my lesson plan. So I have 17 students, 7 of them being boys, 10 girls, 2 of them are on the IEPs. So again, I have my standards and everything. For my plan here, I want to do some whole group, some small group, and some individual student work. So I have kind of a few different approaches because a lot of my students differentiate and based on how they work best. So my focus here is to expose students to the differences between polygons again. Um, so for my formative assessment, I say that students will engage in a think, pair, and share activity. I really want them to engage and have that class discussion time to work with their peers and see what they can kind of come up with as a group. I think collaboration really helps their minds think and get to the right concept. My differentiation, I kind of have this a lot in this lesson, especially because some of my students struggle with mental math and doing the math, so some of them who are on the IEPs, I allow calculators, or my 2 students with the IEPs, I always have notes ready and available for them that have kind of like fill in the blanks and sketch this picture and just kind of some add-ins so they can see it visually as well. Then I have my materials. And then kind of the procedure for the whole teaching session. I want students to walk in and I want them to see it on the board right away, the word shapes, so they kind of have an understanding. They already know that we're talking about shapes. And I want them to get thinking about triangles, rectangles, circles, all of that. So then I'll kind of briefly talk to the students, kind of the lesson plan or the game plan of the whole day. And then I'll have them fill out their before reading about all the shapes that they can tell me about and what those shapes mean and how they differ. And then we will go ahead and read the short story together in class. And then we'll do the after reading, the event or the after reading kind of portion of the day. And then I'm going to have students split up into small groups of 2 and kind of allow them to think, pair, and share with a partner and then come back together as a class and collaborate and bring all of those great ideas into one. Then to end this lesson, I want to ask students to think for a minute and share out loud what they took from this lesson. I want to know and see kind of what they understood. I think that's kind of a big part is to see if they can pick out the big part of the whole lesson or what's the point of teaching them. And then I'll also ask students if they can figure out and discuss all of the new concepts that we were able to do with polygons that they were not able to do when we first started. And that's my lesson.